So back in 1950, when Accurate started, Michael DeMarco, our grandfather, he started Accurate Grinding and Manufacturing. He had a real gift for making precision parts. The beginning of the bedrock and the family, business of Accurate Grinding and Manufacturing was aerospace for all these years. And when Douglas and I got involved, we were guys that, even in our early years, not anything to do with Accurate Grinding, but building and making things in our garage, taking engines apart. This was always the stuff that we did. We were constantly in the garage, building things, breaking things. And my mom would always say to us, for you two, it's not about enjoying what you've created. It's more about fixing and messing with what's wrong with it constantly. And she would say this all the time, why don't you just go enjoy it? When we got involved and had the opportunity of Accurate Grinding, my dad would, allow us to do things because he knew we had some, abilities to do stuff and not get hurt, right? You don't want to get hurt. And we just started making things. So Accurate Fishing was started really when my brother and I were in our teens. And my dad had all of a sudden decided to start fishing. And so at one time, we were catching sharks, mako sharks, and it was straightening out the hook of these gaffs. We were upset, but even the guy that owned the boat was more upset. So he turned to my dad and said, hey, you make airplane parts. Can't you figure out a way to make a hook that doesn't bend? Well, it was a joke. And then we looked at each other and said, all right, we'll be back and we'll see you guys later, but we'll figure it out. And we came back like a couple months later and we had something to show them, and it worked. And that was the beginning of Accurate Fishing. It was what got us going, but we were kind of looking out to something next. And since we're very passionate about fishing and we're on the water, we looked at other things and we decided that the fishing reel was the next step for us. There was no such thing as a company at our size that made their own fishing reels. There was Penn Reels, thousands of people, multi-million-dollar company, Shimano Reels, huge company, thousands of people, and maybe a couple other companies that are big like that, but that's it. So what makes Accurate Fishing Reels unique in the market is, I would say, three things. One is our intent of design. We design things there's intention on everything we do. Second thing is we make everything out of solid billet. And the third thing we have is, which really started the Accurate Fishing Reels, is TwinDrag. It's having drags on both sides of the reel, which had never been done before, and we patented it. When we came up with that idea, it changed everything. And it took a few years for the industry to realize what it was, but it really did change the industry. That, I believe, is the standard for reels. Everything else is secondary to that. For us, it's important that the materials are first made in America. Then we know when we machine it, we spend the time, you're gonna have a good result at the end for sure. Well, there's only one or two at the time now that are made in the US. We're one of them. Everything else is made overseas and cost-driven. We're really not cost-driven. We are precision, quality-driven product company. That's what we are. We're creating products for people that are very passionate about fishing. We listen to our customers, especially listen to people who are at the top of our industry in terms of fishing and where they're fishing. And that's not just from the United States, it's from all over the world. So this has happened many times where people call up and say, hey, I've got this situation, I'm trying to do this with your reel, it's not working correctly, is there anything you guys can do? Well, that's Doug and I. We get involved, we'll talk directly with that customer, I'll get on the phone, we'll get the product in, and the product just keeps evolving better and better. The future of Accurate, I'm actually very surprised because every day we show up, we make fishing reels, but you would think at some point, is there anything else to develop and what's the next technology curve we're gonna go on? You think you figured out everything, right? And then you show up the next day and all of a sudden another thing goes, you get another idea, and that's your next 5-10 year run. And I think we're on something like that. I think we've got great new technology coming. We love it. This is our business.